everyone, today I'm going to be giving you my track by track review of Dua Lipa's new album, Radical Optimism. The first track is End of an Era. As an opener, it just felt kind of underwhelming for me. It's not a bad song, but to set the tone of the album, I'm just not really moved by this song particularly. To track 2, Houdini. So I did do reactions to the singles before the album came out, so you guys can check those out on my channel if you want to. I'll link them down below. But basically, I don't think that this is a bad song. Do I absolutely love it? No. I feel like the more as time has went on, I just liked it a little bit less each time that I listen to it. And it doesn't really give me lead single. It doesn't pack a punch in the way that I would hope. Even as a buzz single, it doesn't excite me. I feel like Dance the Night, even though that kind of sounded like a future nostalgia reach, like that was something that grew on me. I thought it was super catchy. It had something to it that was interesting. But this song, it just kind of falls flat for me. I don't really care for the production. I think the songwriting on here is kind of weak. So not terrible, but not outstanding like I had hoped. First listen, I was like, it's good. Now I'm just, I don't really care to hear it. On to track 3, Training Season. And this song is basically just like, I want to meet somebody who gets me, who understands me. So I don't basically need to break them in and train them and all this stuff. Like, I don't want to worry about that. I just want to like kind of connect with someone instantly. Like, Training Season's over. That's kind of the whole thing with the song. So I think this is the best single by far. It's catchy. I like the vocals. I like the writing. I like the production enough. Is it up to the quality that I would hope for a new Dua Lipa era? Not necessarily. It's just kind of a cut below some of her past stuff, like a Levitating, like a Don't Start Now, for example. It's one of the better songs on this album, I will say that. It's cute for what it is. I don't really care for the video. As I've already discussed, I know that she had to end up switching up the concept. You know, I get it. I respect it. Now on to track number 4, These Walls. So this is basically just about a relationship that needs to end, and you know, saying if these walls could talk, they would say like, you're done. Like, this relationship needs to end. Like, it's not going in a positive place. So, you know, it's kind of interesting with that juxtaposition of what the song is about, and then the instrumentation and the production's kind of like upbeat and happy and light. And so I actually really enjoyed this song. It's probably my favorite song on the album. Something that is a really easy listen. Great vocals on here, really catchy with the songwriting in particular. I like the production. Like, it was just a really refreshing track to listen to for me on this album. So A+ for me. Now on to track 5, What You Doing. So this one has a great groove to it. It's a nice song. I enjoyed it for what it's worth. I think it's catchy. I like the writing. I like the vocal. I like the production. So another one of my favorites on this album for sure. And maybe she'll release it as a single. 6, French Exit. So it's a decent track overall. I don't absolutely love it. I don't absolutely hate it. Probably one of the brighter spots on this album. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a favorite though. Like, I could honestly live without this song. Now on to track number 7, Illusion. I said this basically in my reaction to the song, but this is very uninspired to me. You know, it doesn't give me a whole lot. I think the chorus is one of the worst choruses on this album, and one of the worst choruses I've heard from Dua Lipa for that matter. Music video, it was just kind of meh. All of our fans were in our comments having their opinions to say, and it was what it was. And someone was like, why aren't you smiling? Why would I smile? The song was trash in my opinion. I don't like, it's just my subjective opinion. The song just absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was definitely giving me a reject of something from the first album, more likely than Future Nostalgia. Future Nostalgia just had better stuff sonically than a song like this. It was just very disappointing to me as a single, and I stand on that. On to track 8, Falling Forever. The vocals on the song were phenomenal. I'll definitely give her 10s for that. I thought she sounded great. It sounded like she was pushing herself vocally. The rest of the song though, and the other elements, it just fell flat to me. It's not really one that I'm going to go back and re-listen to. Now on to 9, Anything for Love. You know, she's saying, don't you remember when we used to do anything for love? And that's kind of the sentiment of this song. It's just, this is enough for me. It really is, especially that talking at the beginning. Sometimes artists can do that and it adds to the song. Here it doesn't. It's something that kind of feels hollow about this song to me. It didn't really give me a whole lot that I was just really gravitating towards. Number 10, Maria. It was all right. It was all right. Didn't absolutely love it, but you know, it was there. It was there. And the 11th and final track, Happy For You. Again, just one that I felt was mediocre. So, you know, overall thoughts on this album. I, at best, am giving this album a 4 or 5 out of 10. I predicted that this album was going to be a disappointment for me. Like, I just feel like I wasn't going to like this album because, like, I already have my criticisms with Houdini. I like Training Season still. But even before Illusion came out, I just knew, like, I'm probably not going to like this album. I made a whole video on my second channel basically explaining how I got to that point, and I said it on here. The album isn't absolutely horrible. I just expect more from Dua Lipa. You know, you're saying that, oh, I'm gonna make this psychedelic album and I'm gonna do something different than I haven't done before. I'm not saying a whole lot about what she talked about with being psychedelic and all those other things. Like, I'm just not hearing it objectively. Maybe a chord progression or two, but the direction that I thought this album was gonna go in and then what we actually got was just a disappointment. And then this stuff sounds like rejects from your first 2 albums, and even more so the first album. I think the first album was way better than this. At least you had songs like New Rules, Homesick, I Don't Give a Fuck. There's only like 3 or 4 good songs on this album that I find myself returning to. A lot of stuff is kind of middle of the road on, and some stuff I'm just like absolutely not. So this album, for the most part, doesn't really move me in a positive way. It just feels like with this album, Dua Lipa dyed her hair red, went on vacation, recorded the songs in the booth on vacation, then we just moved on. It doesn't feel like there's a real concept to this album. It doesn't feel like she's pushing herself sonically and trying to think outside of the box. It feels like you're giving me the same thing that you already gave, and not even in a positive way, because sometimes artists can kind of remake songs, and I liked it. Like the Dance Night song, like I said, that song really grew on me, and I would have preferred that than basically 90% of this album. So this era, you know, it just felt very uninspired to me. me. I felt like there was no direction. I would rather you just scrap the album and then just give me something that feels a little bit more inspired. I'm just not seeing a whole lot for this album, and it is what it is. I just wanted more from Dua Lipa. I really did. And this goes for someone who wasn't even that high on Future Nostalgia. Like, I like Future Nostalgia, but I feel like the singles did carry the album, but the singles are so great that, you know, you can appreciate them for what they are. And I already said I liked her first album. And even listening to this, I just felt like you had more in the tank. Like, artists write so many songs for albums. She probably wrote 100 songs for this album, and this is what you whittle it down to and give me. I'm not moved. I'm not impressed. So I'll take my 3-4 songs, probably listen to them a few times, and then I'm gonna move on. And like, that's just my opinion on this album. And people are like, oh, why do you think that people care so much about your opinion? I never said you had to care about my opinion, but if you don't care about my opinion, then why are you commenting on the video? Like, I genuinely don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Like, I'm just one person. My opinion is not going to change how Dua Lipa's album does, all the stuff. I know that. I just want to give my opinions. I just hope that her next album is better and there's just some more artistic growth, because I'm not really feeling that on this album. I feel like there was a lot left on the table with this album, just to be honest with you. And so I just felt like the jump from her first album to Future Nostalgia, that was a huge jump. You know, you gave us some really interesting music videos to watch. The music was great. She really changed up her sound and like that kind of 80s moment, which was really cool to listen to. And then I also just really enjoyed the era as the whole, the performances, stuff like that. Like, she gave us like an era. We got all those singles and all those things. And then here it feels like kind of a regression in a way. Like, I'm not feeling that much growth. You know, there's a few songs that I liked, but overall she could have done better. And so I'm glad to be doing another review, because I was hoping to do more reviews this year. So any albums that came out this year, or just any albums in general that you want me to review, leave a comment down below. I might review it, and I have some more reviews in the pipeline that I want to get to at some point. That's my honest review of Dua Lipa's album. It is. And so let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, because I feel like a lot of people have been agreeing with me and what I've already been saying about how this album was underwhelming. Some people really love the album. It's going to be one of their favorites of the year. To know what you guys think, and, you know, let me know your favorite songs, all those things. And yeah, like I said, I have other videos on Dua Lipa. I'll leave them linked down in the description if you'd like to watch those. That'll be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot in YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can also subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Every single week I'm going to give you either an album review, an album reaction, just something music related on here every single week. And you can also hit the bell, and then you get a notification to your phone when I post, so you're not missing brand new videos come out. The first link down below in the description is going to be my second channel. Now, a lot of it is just me reposting my TikTok content, but not all. Like, some stuff I like to keep exclusively for TikTok, for example. And so I've been doing some other stuff on there. A lot of it is music content. So I made a video on why Olivia Rodrigo is so successful, why I think Ice Spice won't have longevity. I talked about Beyonce's I Am Sasha Fierce album and why a lot of her fan base doesn't go up for it, and the whole thing about crossover albums. I shared my favorite songs from the 2000s. So that's kind of the vibe of the music content and music discussions we have over there. Then I've also done some other stuff. Like, I made a video talking about why I love basketball, just cause my thoughts on the NFL draft. I've made a bunch of Dance Moms videos recently, and I just posted my review of the first season of Dance Moms, and just something for fun. So that's the whole point of that channel. Is yes, a lot of it is music rooted, but if I want to do other things, and that's what the channel is for. It's the space to just do whatever I want, post whenever I want. There's no set upload schedule or structure or content matter. And so you guys can check me out on there if you would like to see more. Thank you guys so much for 800 subscribers, by the way. The way that the channel is growing this year, I'm just so happy with it, and I really appreciate everyone's support on that channel. You can subscribe if you would like to see more from me. I haven't missed a day this year, and it is already made. So I'm working really hard to keep that up, and more stuff is to come. And I forgot to mention, I also post some of my favorite Mariah Carey interviews on there, like some really obscure stuff, so you guys can check out that channel as well. I'm gonna have a link to stream this album if you guys are interested. And lastly, I will have links to educate you guys on important situations. Free Palestine, this is something that we must educate ourselves on. If you want to learn more about the cause, how to do it, all those things, I have links down below in the description for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.